Hi there and welcome to Concept Hunter. My name is KOKOStern and today we're going to discuss a pretty intriguing game called Pause Ahead. The first thing that we have to say about this game is again the fact that once it completes loading, it immediately goes into the music and stuff like that, which I dislike. So please, I repeat this pretty much every single time, load up the game and then have a screen where you need to press play, okay? Because that's annoying because I have to refresh the freaking page every time. So please. Okay, especially when you open a lot of online games, and I open a lot of games, and then they all start their music together, and that's really annoying. So have a screen with play. That's the first main thing that I have to say. This game is by Skillsoft, and I'm assuming sponsored by Adult Swim Games, which is lovely, and it's quite interesting. It has a really, it's a basic platformer. We always talk about platformers, always. Most of the time, we talk about platformers. It has a very unique mechanic that is done in a pretty cool way. It does have a couple of little issues, but there's a lot of good here, and we want to talk about the good once the game frickin' loads up. Come on, run a little bit faster, my friend. My furry friend, does he have ears, or I don't even know. Okay, there we go. Starting off. I have to say the music is absolutely sublime. I love the music. It's so good. Biltron and Flashy Goodness made the music. And we got the music there. Okay, so I'm gonna start from scratch. I didn't actually finish the game here. I finished it on a different account, so I can't do a speed run quite yet. I can only continue. But let's start from zero. I have no idea what's written here. I'm assuming it's something, but it's so... the font is so weird that I have no idea what's actually written here. Pause ahead, start. Are you sure this will overwrite your previous game? Got no choice. Press space or down to continue. So I'm going to press down. I awake in a dark place. The number 00 is branded on my palm. My thoughts are not on how I arrived, but how I escape. Perhaps pressing up or space to jump. And pressing down or space at the door. Okay, so space and up. I'm not going to press space, obviously. I'm going to press up, so that's a really good thing. I'm going to press up. I have a timer, and when the timer reaches 0, I will die. Okay? So I'm just going to pass on. And then you get a replay, and you can press space to skip. Why can't I press up to skip? Small things, right? Why can't I press up to skip? As space does everything else. Well, that didn't help much. Looking at the sheer drop, I realize at least I won't come this way again. Okay, so apparently I'm dropping down. I didn't really understand what he just said, but okay. Looking at the sheer drop, so I guess that's what they meant. And okay, so far, standard platformer. Going down, we have a replay. The replay is kind of meaningless. I don't know why we have the replay right now. But okay, so far we've basically jumped around and done nothing. Now both these levels were kind of the same thing. We didn't learn anything from them. I feel a rush of deja vu. Not of memories, but of past lives, most of which did not last long. Okay, so supposedly that's an exposition to the fact that you can die. And I have 10 more seconds, so I have to really get fast. And okay, once again, finished the level. Now we had a little bit more obstacles. I really feel like, say, the second level could be gone, because the first level actually had the first level is the first level, right? The second level wasn't anything. It was just a little bit of platforming, and the words on the screen don't really say too much to me. They're trying to explain something, but there's nothing there. Whoever thought to keep me here is trying much too hard. And now we're introduced to something completely new, which is these things that can do that. Okay. So now we have to run through that. So I'm going to take this, come back, and run through, and we got through. This was another level. It was kind of cute, but so far, and I want to really emphasize this, so far, standard platforming, exposition and kind of some words before that explain nothing, replays that mean absolutely nothing to me, and I haven't used any special mechanics so far. I'm at level 5. Nothing happened. At level 5, which is very, very far in as far as I'm concerned, now you'll actually get to do the main thing. Bridging this gap will require some rest. It's kind of an odd thing to say, press Shift or C to pause at any time. I'm going to use Shift or C, doesn't really matter. But okay, to pause at any time. Game paused. What does that mean? Okay, I don't know, but it pauses the game. And now that I jump, I see that I'm actually... my momentum at the exact second that I pause will just keep on going, and my character keeps on moving. Okay, this is a really, really interesting, really cool mechanic that is totally awesome. Why did it take so long for me to get to it? Why did I need 4 levels beforehand that weren't really... You could do 2 levels. You could do a level with nothing, and then a level with all the obstacles, very basic, stupid, boring, normal obstacles. And then level 3 we could have this. Now the replay, we can see that when it jumps between pauses, so it doesn't record the pauses, which is really cool. It's kind of odd. You can see that it all happens, and then I died, and then I jumped, and it finally ended. You can see that. It's really cool. Time and space in this place are an illusion. Okay, and now we kind of have 2 paths. We have the path to the right and the path at the top. Perhaps matter can be conquered as well. So now, I'm just gonna, as the game is paused, I'm actually going through anything that can kill me. I can't die during the pause, okay? I cannot die during the pause. And now I'm actually gonna reach a secret area, which is kind of cool. I reached the secret area, and now I go back and actually pass the level. So I don't even finish the level, I just did it in a different way, which is okay. Time here seems malleable, but also more scarce. I must spend it wisely. So I have 20, so okay, now I died immediately. And now you go back. And this is actually something that I really, really, really want to talk about because it's super, super important. Especially later on, but even in these early levels, when you die, you have this. It takes 1 second. That is way too much. It needs to take 0 seconds. 0 seconds, and I'll explain why it even more evident later on, because later on you have stages. Maybe I'll manage to get there even. Oh, I should have pressed it again. That was almost perfect. Okay, hold on. It has a large amount of difficulty, which I actually really like. Press space to move forward. At this commotion bar my path. It's quite flattering, really. Okay, I needed to do one more to the right. Okay, no. See, that was bad. I needed to, because I got stuck there. There you go. It's really not that difficult. A level could be passed very quickly. I'm impressed you've made it this far. So now we have this entity that's talking to us. But my sojourn stops here. This is a game you cannot win. So now we still have standard levels. I wish I could show you a little bit of later levels, but I might be able to do it after this one. Okay, there you go. I'm pretty good at this because I already passed through this, but that's fine. Think for a second. Who is in control? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, he keeps talking, and I will stop here because we could just keep on talking about this game for a long time. One of the biggest issues that I really want you to address is when you die. Because when you die, that 1 second that it refreshes the screen is a really big issue. And let me explain why. Pause, okay? And there's all kinds of things now said because he's supposedly that entity's talking to us, which is a really cool thing, but it took so long to reach that entity. And you could have like made a couple of the levels feel kind of empty to me, completely empty, because they have no purpose. There's no progression in them. It's very standard and basic. And you reach the special thing that you do a little bit too late. Now the fact that you have the 1 second of the screen tearing is a really big issue, because at later levels, hear me out, you're not going to see this unless you keep playing. At later levels, you have 1 second, which means you have to keep on pausing. You have 1 second to complete the level, or 1 second to reach this power-up that gives you more time, okay? You start the level with 1 second, which means if you don't do anything for 1 second, you die and you have to start over. And you have to really, really move quickly. Now, Also in those levels, you die like if you don't move immediately, you'll die in an instant, because there's like obstacles coming your way, and you start right here, and the obstacles immediately kill you, unless you make a move. In those levels, which sadly I cannot show you, unless I keep playing, and I don't intend to, in those levels, you really need to either immediately continue, or, which is another way to fix this, I guess, start the game paused. This is super easy to do, especially for you, because of this mechanic. Start the game paused. I know that at the start of each level you have the person talking, which is fine. There's the talk, and after he finishes talking, the game is paused. If the game is paused, you can look at the situation you're in and move immediately after the pause starts. And if you immediately start the game, especially in those levels where you have 1 second and that stuff immediately kill you, it's just really annoying, and it can create a lot of frustration. There's no reason not to start, maybe even just those levels, which is kind of inconsistent, but start paused. Start a level paused, and then move on, okay? It's kind of really important. And he's saying all kinds of things, which are fine by me, that he wants to say. I'm gonna try and pass this level. Maybe it's the next one that's already there. Now I need it to come up. Okay, that's good. Whoa. I don't want to die to it, and now I want it to... Okay, there we go. I really hope that this next one has 1 second. No, it doesn't. Okay. So you see, if I don't actually move, I'll die very quickly here. Oh, there. Now I'm dead. Okay, anyway, other than those couple of small issues that you really kind of need to fix when you keep on dying, because this is a hard game, right? I love the music. It's perfect. The difficulty is very high. It ramps up and becomes very high. A little bit of mind bending and thinking about further. And the ending of the game is very nice. The ending of the game is very nice. It's a little bit pretentious and doesn't really have too much in the way of that entity talking to you. I wish there was a little bit more to that. I also think the progression at the start, it could be a little bit better. And I wish that the controls itself are wonderful, but the start of a level could be done just a little bit better, and the fact that you have that screen every time you die, that screen, it should just be instant, okay? Take heed from games such as Super Meat Boy. It's just boom. It's more instant than this. A second is too much. It needs to be 0.1 seconds, okay? It sounds tiny, but it's so relevant to the experience, especially when you keep on dying. Aside of that, I really like the game. There's also like cool options. Yeah, you can. I just pressed O. You can remove the overlay if you dislike it, which is a cute little touch up that they decided to put it on. It's fine. It's graphical and stuff like that. I really enjoyed playing this. I think it's great. I think you can make it just a little bit better, even with a patch, because the core gameplay is wonderful. The mechanic is totally awesome. I don't know if the replay at the end is kind of cute that you record everything. It's cute, but it's completely useless at the early levels because you don't have that mechanic. And that's it. Pause Ahead is absolutely wonderful. The design is by Tadakuni Amano. The music, once again, is by Biltron209 and by Flashy Goodness. And it's awesome music. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please consider subscribing. Another Concept Hunter every week on Tuesdays. And I'll see you guys then. Laters.